A routine organ grinding. Written by Clockwork Jones. Act 1, in which our heroine is expositioned.
You're 7.5 minutes late again, Randy. That's 1.5 minutes later than yesterday.
I'm sorry, Mr. Horseface.
Randy spoke sweetly.
But today is my 27th birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Randy. Congratulations on this milestone event. Wow.
Mr. Horseface grunted and whinnied sarcastically, barely holding back his frustration.
Even more reason to be on time. Seeing as this is your last day, you won't be able to come in tomorrow to make up all the money you're losing being late and working your mouth and shaking your ass out here for me for free.
Partially eaten oats dribbled from his muzzle, expelled by his violent tongue.
Now, take that top off, shake that corn-fed Hoosier ass, and scrounge up some dinero for your favorite pony.
I will, Mr. Horseface. Sure am gonna miss you and all the other girls here at the Cornhuskers Lounge. But I am 27 now, and just too old to still be single and dancing every night.
Now, don't be too hard on yourself, Randy. You're beautiful and we will miss you. You're a unique snowflake or whatever. But it's state law, and rules are rules and all, so you know how this goes at the end of your shift. And I'm sure you will make the tastiest dog food.
Mr. Horseface turned to trot away, dropping large piles of shit as he galloped into the densely populated club.
Oh, you're so sweet, Mr. Horseface. Well, you better make this the best dancing yet. Something for y'all to remember me by.
Randy smiled quietly to herself, looking forward to another day at the only office that she's ever known. Happy last birthday to her. Act 2, in which our heroine works hard for the money.
Why do all these goddamn horse people have to shit everywhere? I mean, really? Just shit where you stand? If I did that, I'd be arrested!
To Theo's stage right, Myron spoke up from behind his glass of gin. Cultural differences, man. Gotta be tolerant of this shit. Sign of the times, you know.
They can evolve to speak English, but they can't have the common courtesy to use a toilet like the rest of us regular people. For fuck's sake!
Unfazed by polite intervention, on he rambled. Randy heard Theo ranting from her perch in the dressing room while slipping from out of her street clothes and into her armor. Purple leather, knee-length, high-heeled boots, real deer skin, thin-cut thong, with the fur dyed dark brown and a chine-link mesh bra. Thick black eyeliner and fuchsia lipstick. Her war paint. Her light brown hair let loose. She channeled the spirit of the woods where she was raised, embodying the game that her patrons often hunted. But she was the hunter here. Passed down to her by her sister, Sarah. Finest stripper Martinsville had ever known, after her 27th birthday. Sarah didn't need armor now. Sarah didn't need anything.
Afternoon, Theo. How's the corn coming up this year? Knee high already?
She asked, as her hips bounced perfectly in time to the music, powered by Glasgow's new gyroscopic hip implant.
Glasgow, we see your future.
Glasgow, we see your future.
Robotically synced to DJ Hoosierman spinning. Her feet moved precisely with the hit of every snare, her hip on the hi-hat, and Theo was hypnotized.
Yup, just fine. The soybeans are coming along too.
Unblinking, he began to reach for his wallet. Myron, too, not amused, glued his eyes to Randy. A thin stream of drool began to dribble from his parted lips, filling his glass and diluting his gin.
Myron's hogs are getting fat as well.
Myron grunted, using no mouth muscles.
Well, is there anything I can help you boys grow while you're here?
She smirked to herself, feeling the power of her art as it flowed from her essence into the souls of her patrons. The room as canvas, her body the brush, she brought vivid color to the otherwise drab and lifeless. Here, her gray farm community came to life, and she was the wellspring.
I'll have the usual, Randy. Just a routine organ grinding.
Randy turned her ample backside to Theo and pulled down her thong, with every motion maintaining impeccable tempo. Theo took out his credit card and swiped between her cheeks. In a matter of 3 seconds, the chip in Randy's hip told Theo's bank to withdraw $237.15 plus tax. Theo's bank sent this money to the Cornhuskers Lounge, affirmed by a CPU within Mr. Horseface's long ass face, and the money was transferred back to the same bank, but in an account marked for Mr. Horseface. A request was then sent to DJ Hoosierman to play Organ Grinder's Delight number 37, and a confirmation was sent back to Randy's hip, which then told the hip's wires entwined around Randy's central nervous system to release 135 megahertz of electromagnetic pulses, emulating orgasmic pleasure, incentivizing Randy to continue to work hard for the money, while simultaneously lowering her inhibitions to dance for strange slobs in a slum town. Randy's eyes lit with a dull glow as Glasgow's robotic hips let out an inaudible hum. Act 3, in which our heroine gets a birthday surprise.
All right, Cornhuskers Lounge, we got a request for Organ Grinder's Delight number 37. This goes out to you, Randy.
DJ Hoosierman put on Organ Grinder's Delight number 37, as Randy began to initiate the dance of her people. Suddenly, the front doors to the Cornhuskers Lounge burst open as William H. Wells, Jr. stormed in, smiling from ear to ear.
Stop that lap dance. Immediately.
He cried with glee. Pushing dancers and drooling patrons aside, with authority given and not earned, he made his way to Randy. Theo looked up at Wells with resentment.
Oh, can't you wait 5 minutes? I've already paid.
Myron looked on in amusement.
Absolutely not, Theo. And kindly get your hands off of my bride-to-be.
Randy, puzzled, stopped dancing and turned to Wells. Wells, getting older, lowered himself carefully to one knee.
Randy, I have just now received enough money and courage to purchase you this wedding ring.
Wells' father founded the bank in town that Theo and Mr. Horseface used to handle all of their assets. Wells Jr. now owned the bank, the Cornhuskers Lounge, most of the parks in Martinsville, many of the other businesses in Martinsville, and 5 square miles of beachfront property in Louisville, Kentucky.
Randy, I have loved you since you first laid your perfectly crafted lap onto mine. I think that we would make beautiful children together and comfort each other through a long and happy life together. Randy, would you like to marry me today? You know, instead of being drug off by the sheriff to be ground up into dog food.
Randy, still enraptured from when Theo's credit card made her come, began to cry.
Oh, yes, William H. Wells, I do. Oh, I do, yes. Oh.
Theo, who was also Martinsville's only ordained minister, mustered up a smile and decreed,
Then I now pronounce you man and wife. Kiss the adorable woman, Wells.
Some touched, some disappointed. The collective of dancers, horse people, farmers, daughters, lovers, DJs, and Hoosiers let out together, followed by golf claps. However, the sheriff was visibly disappointed by this last-minute showing of what appeared to legally constitute close enough to the definition of true love. Now that Randy was married, she was no longer eligible to be acquired by the state to have her assets, including her physical person, liquidated for the good of the community. City ordinance in Martinsville interpreted this state statute to mean that any woman 27 years or older, having passed her prime marrying years, and thereby unlikely to produce any church and state-approved children, would be confiscated as illegal property of the city of Martinsville. This sheriff had been posted up by the door since Randy's arrival, because taking young women on the eve of their 27th birthday, supported by city ordinance, to be ground up into pride of Martinsville's pub chow was his favorite duty as a civil servant. Motherfucker was sick like that.
Damn it! Another one lost to what may or may not be true love.
He tossed his hat on the ground in frustration and stormed out. Epilogue. 3 years passed. Randy sits rocking her newborn daughter, Willow, who is teething. Another sleepless night. Out again at the lounge. Wells likely won't be back till daylight. Business, just maybe, likely cheap. Haven't danced since the wedding. No new art to share. Staring into Willow's eyes, Randy begins to weep, fearing that though she has avoided becoming dog food, she has become the factory.